Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good time. My name's sagehero. I have been running Mega Man 4 for 6-ish years now. It's quite a speed game. So I'm excited to show this off for everyone. With me, joining me in commentary, I got Lookin' Toad, who you may have heard of. He's going to be joining me on this Mega Man 4 adventure, and he's been running the game quite a bit himself.
Yes, I love this game.
So I'm going to go ahead and get us started here, and I'll let Lookin' Toad explain a little bit of the route we choose and things like that while we do the first. I'm going to reset real quick.
Cool. Good luck. Also.
All right.
Just tell me when to stop.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, here we go. Starting up some Mega Man 4. There's two major routes that you see. They're pretty similar. They just differ in the beginning. Either Pharaoh first or Bright first. Pharaoh first is what you're going to see Sage do here. It's a little harder, a little bit more busy. I think it's super fun. I also do Pharaoh first. It's only faster than Bright by about 6 seconds if everything goes well. And all the time saves that you're getting are basically in the second stage with what you acquire here in this stage, which you will see coming up here. Sages often use that rush coil also to get over that pit. Normally you can slide jump over that, but it's crucial to this run and what we do here to get this balloon. So it's just way better to hop over it.
Things got a little bit sloppy there, but we made it through. In a real speed run, you would go in a non-marathon run. You would just go for that jump without using rush coil, but it's about a 30-second time loss for not getting the balloon weapon, and we don't want to do that.
And plus the balloon is just super cool. It's really unique to this game in terms of how it's used to save time. So missing it in a marathon run would be like, oh man, we'd have to. Well, here we go with the backup. We get to show that off. So, but no, this route's really fun. It's a little harder because of the opening where you have to mash all those scorpions. If you do Bright first, you have the Bright weapon, which freezes the screen, and I'll explain later how crazy that weapon is. But you basically do Pharaoh first, and by doing Pharaoh first, you get the balloon, and then you get Pharaoh's weapon, who we're coming in on here. Contact damage is huge in this game. Like, everything wants to touch you, and when it does, it hurts you real bad. All the Robot Masters do 8 damage on contact, except Pharaoh, who does 6. He can basically either jump to your location, stand still, and shoot a charge shot, or jump around all loopy, throwing those little orbs he does. If you stand near him, he's more likely to stay still. And it's pretty easy to evade those charge shots once you kind of get used to the timing. Okay, so Sage went for that little hop there. If he's in the right place at the right time, pretty much as those little orbs of the boss are leaving, that's when the victory fanfare begins. If he's in the exact center, it'll trigger that energy collect early. The other thing he's going to be going for at the end of these bosses is the magic pixels, which is if he stands in the kind of like in the center after he defeats the boss, Mega Man won't jump to the ceiling. He'll just zip right to the center of the screen and collect and leave. Which it only saves a little bit of time, but over the course of the run, it adds up quite a bit. I think it's a little over. I think it's like 0.6, like a little over half a second. So over 8 stages. That's a pretty good time loss if you're not going for him.
Unfortunately, we get a little bit of bad luck here. Oh, we get really bad luck here.
Ooh. Yeah, I see you. So those I call them crickets. Everyone else calls them grasshoppers. But the grasshoppers can either jump big or small. And when they jump small, it's kind of a bummer. Especially if you don't get like a deboost option in that screen. Pretty soon though, he's about to do some pretty crazy strats using the balloon. It's the first time you see the balloon if you're doing Pharaoh first and going for it. Very dangerous strat, but very cool. So let's see what happens here. Very nice. He gets the first triple. Going for the second one, gets the back D boost, slides over. Woo! Tight slide over that first cricket. It's a little hop. Makes it on the totem. And he's clear. That's it. Woo! Very nice. It's very difficult to do that room, and he pulled it off very, very well. So very, very nice. Very impressive. You might have seen him put a little little balloon in the wall there. Like it looks like he spawns the balloon, but it blows up. You don't even see the balloon. In this game, you can create balloons inside the wall, and for about 10 frames, it still exists. So you can be on top of it and jump on it. So you can kind of wall jump Mega Man X style if you place the balloon in the wall in the right way. You can still jump off of it. Makes going up ladders very fast. We have Brightman here. Brightman is famous for freezing you where you can't do anything, and he'll either jump into you or shoot you, which are the two things he does. He either jumps and shoots. However, he only freezes you at 16, 8, and 4 health. So Sage is hitting him in such a way that he will never be frozen. And that's where the other time save comes from for doing Pharaoh first also, is you do the balloons to get over those grasshoppers and get rid of the RNG, and then you fight Bright with Pharaoh. It's not his weakness is Toad. However, those charge shots above him when he's charging up Pharaoh, they do 3 damage when Bright touches them. And then, due to, I believe it's a glitch, right? It's definitely, I don't believe it's intentional. You retain a charge shot to throw right after that. So essentially, it's like you're doubling up on Buster shots if you did Bright first. If your timing's good and you hit him. He's starting Ring now. It's a pretty crazy stage. As far as like the early stages, it's kind of tightly routed, so it can be really frustrating when it goes wrong in terms of how you use ammo and health. This would be the first time you see balloons if you were not doing Pharaoh first. He made it past the turret. Oh, the turret is just the worst.
Yeah, that turret is a pain in the butt. It's RNG a little bit too, whether you, like, it actually shoots you.
Yeah, so sometimes
nice.
you lose the time and there's nothing you can do. It's a bummer. Skipping the hippo completely. If you've played this game before, you know that hippo's super annoying to fight. Doing a little cool kill there, killing the Saw and the Saturn above. In Mega Man, there's a bunch of lag if there's a lot of action and sprites going on screen. So, in big rooms like that with a lot of stuff going on, you want to try to kill those enemies right away and then hope they don't get drops. And then if you have like full everything, like you just want to grab those drops. So skipping the second hippo, and it's the third mini boss. Lots of mini bosses. Pretty tough screen here with these disappearing platforms. Pretty precise movement, getting the cool kills, having to take a drop, but not too bad. Pretty solid stage. Now he's just got a little skip at the end here, and then the boss himself. Ringman is a fixed fight. You hopefully have it go the same way every. There's a couple options about how you can kill him. Some a little faster because it blows him up closer to the center of the screen, blows him up a little quicker. But let's see what happens here.
Cool.
And I'm a little behind, and boom! Very nicely done, totally. It's good to blow them up in the center of the screen because that victory music will not play until all the particles are blown off the screen. So, blowing them up closer to the center, as close to the center as you can get, ensures that you'll get quick victory music.
I'm taking those stage selects so careful. If you notice, this game is notorious for eating your inputs on the stage select menu. So I am, in a marathon, I am not gonna risk going to the wrong stage.
Yeah, that would be an interesting turn of events for sure, to say the least. Moving into Dust now, there's a couple options here. You can use Pharaoh or Bright. Sage is going for Bright. It's a good strat. Pharaoh is just different. It's a little bit more stuff going on. It's technically faster, just slightly, but for pretty much everything, they're fine to do either. Little bit of craziness going on here. As you can see, this is because of all the just crazy business going on here, and so it's very difficult to navigate. Sage gets through it, a little trouble at the beginning, and a little bit of disrespect from the ladybugs at the end, but makes it through just fine. Coming up now is the Crushers. The Crushers, the ridiculous room. This whole stage is just dangerous and everywhere to die. But he's going to go through these Crushers using Ring, which is the weapon we'll fight Dust with. It's what he's weak to. So far looking really good. Really clean block clearing. And he makes it very nice. Just lovely little Indiana Jones style slide out of danger. Looks great. Feels fun to do.
So I took that really babyish on the Met screen. It's because I'm
oh
low
yeah,
health.
yeah. Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah, that's a good call. That strat can be scary too if there's a drop, because you have to react and you collect it, because you have to react very quickly to not miss time getting off that platform. So Dust is famous, and I got a really good joke for you. We don't like Dust because he sucks. Haha. I actually came up with that joke. I'm just, I'm sorry. No, anyway, he will. And when he sucks, it wastes 4 seconds, and the only way to stop him is to bonk him with your body, which costs health. He didn't suck, did he?
Nope.
Just that. No,
0.
no sucks.
So the only way, yeah, I was conserving HP there because you want at least like, you want at least more than 8 HP so you can stop him at least one time, because it's pretty common to get 1 inhale. But like, he was actually pretty nice. It was almost the perfect pattern.
Okay, coming into Skullman now, we're going to see the only zip in the game. By Mega Man 4, the developers kind of, knew people were zipping through stuff, and they were like, let's get rid of that. So they just make Mega Man die when he's in stuff. However, if you have some iframes... Oh no! Fell a little bit here, but that's okay. It's easy to set back up.
Unfortunately, that costs too much HP, so we're going to go around.
So we're just gonna pass the skull zip, because sacrificing the health and just everything is...
We're going to pretend we got that and just continue to... Everything's wrong with these guys now. Yeah, once you fail that screen, it just it becomes a cluster because those guys don't spawn in the right spots. And sorry about that. I wish I could show that off.
Coming out of it though, we have lots of. Pretty much speaks for itself. Very, very cool. So I'm gonna let Sage just roll through that, and we can do a donation right now. Probably a quick donation or two.
Sure thing. We have a sponsor for this marathon in HyperX. HyperX even matches the first 800 subs during this marathon with a $2.50 donation. So if you sub right now, not only will ESA get money from your subscription, but also we get money from our sponsor for that. And that ensures future events just like this, or ESA Summer and Winter, or the BSG and UKSG marathons. So each donation, each subscription really helps our cause, or events, not our cause, or events at that point.
So we got a new strat coming up here.
Exciting. I still do the old one. So he slides at the beginning there. Very cool.
Yeah. So Skullman reads your inputs. Oops. Skullman reads your inputs, so we actually shoot while sliding to trick him into thinking that we have shot at him. Wow, that was quite a stage. But we got out of it. Skullman is also like a major RNG point, because for some reason the length of his barrier is complete RNG, and you would think, what are there, like 3 patterns? No, there's like 7 patterns for Skull.
Yeah,
and
they can last 4 seconds, I think.
It's like between half a second to 4 seconds, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it's interesting, if you just walk in, you could probably try it out yourself sometime, next time you play. If you just walk in that room and don't press anything, he'll just stand there and stare at you. He reacts purely to what you do, so it's kind of funny to do if you've never seen it before. This stage is tricky, and from here on out, you're going to be seeing a lot of Flash Stopper, Bright Man's weapon. So you can't jump out of slides underwater, which makes this tricky for the movement. You have to slide cancel to get real fancy with the movement. Pretty dangerous, a lot of risk, and not a lot of reward unless you have like a crazy optimized time and you're really trying to save those frames. But the Flash Stopper is a very powerful weapon in this game. You freeze the screen, and it normally lasts, I believe, up to 5 seconds. And unlike in Mega Man 2, when you freeze the screen, it only uses a little ammo, and you can still fire the Buster. However, the craziest thing about it in this game is that when you are sliding, the timer for it to unfreeze does not go down. This makes it just totally breaks some stages, like Drill and this stage and Toad, the last of the 8 robot masters, all use Bright pretty much from beginning to end. And it's just a crazy, powerful weapon. You don't see it after that, but for these 3 stages, it's pretty cool, pretty neat.
So that hole I jumped over after the second whale, that is actually not a pit. That is what I call the nerd hole. And if you go down there, you get the wire weapon.
If you did fall down there, it'd be like, well, we're doing 100% every. That's like category change. Woo. Okay, so we're gonna switch to Dust here and finish up. Dust is a great backup, by the way. Like, a lot of people don't feel comfortable fighting Dive with the Skull Barrier because he just shoots right at you and the Skull Barrier just surrounds you. So it takes pretty precise jumps and kind of learning his movements to get around that. So for a lot of people that aren't, you know, practicing him exclusively, they don't really build that unless they're playing a lot. So a lot of people will opt for Buster, but you can also use Dust. Dust is a good secondary.
Yeah. Yeah. Dust is one of the better ones. Does like 3 damage, as much as a Charge Buster every shot.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure then. We're gonna switch to Bright here again pretty soon. This is a pretty fun stage, lots of cool stuff happening here. Pretty much all the Bright stages are fun. This stage in particular, the last screen before Drill, is a really fun little test of your movement, like whenever you're doing it. Like, it's always kind of like a personal, like a little thrill if you can get through the screen without it unfreezing, or having to freeze it again. So we'll see how that goes down.
Bad
so
luck.
Sage taken out. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said
Bad luck with the bats.
Bad luck with the bats. Yeah, you want them to open up
Yeah.
so you can just get them out of the way.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You would think you don't want bats to open up, you know, just on principle, because then they're not attacking you. But in order to set up the optimal movement for that screen, you do want them to open up so you can get around them. It's kind of like the turret in Ring Man. It's just sometimes it happens.
So you can tell how good your movement is by this last screen in Drill, because if you're really good, you can get through the entire screen with just one flash, because you're sliding so much. I made one mistake there, so I had to do a second flash really late.
So now, this guy is infamous for wasting a ton of time. He dives right away at the beginning. Time he 4 seconds. He's always guaranteed to dive once. He can either walk or dive again like he just did. He can dive, walk, or jump. And so whenever he dives like that, it's just that waste of time, like solid block of time that you lose. So I believe we got 2 dives.
Yeah, that's average, on the high side of average. I'd say like 1 to 2 is pretty average every time you fight him. It's not that rare to get 0. My PB has 0, so you know, obviously I lost a lot of time there. But...
Yeah, there's actually a lot of RNG in this game. I would like in a lot of different ways. And so, you know, the good and bad of that is when you get the good luck, you feel great. You're like, wow, you know, there's that nice little payoff of getting the good luck. But then, of course, when it goes bad, it's bad. So, now we're entering Toadman. I love this Robot Master. he's pretty cool. The stage is actually, it's interesting. A lot of people do Toadman first, casually, because he's famous for being super easy. He's just really easy to kill. I think he's programmed to just jump when you shoot. So a lot of people will just mash Buster, and just walk left and right and having him just jump to your location as you're mashing shot, because it's where he jumps is to your location. But as you're seeing, some pretty cool movement in here. With the flash stopper completely nullifying that first screen and all the crazy business that happens there with the birds and the little umbrella dudes. Going through here, too many bosses in here. The snails, just gonna, like the hippos, just skip right through them. Just freeze the screen before they completely load, and the game lets you bonk them, but still pass through. So, coming through the second snail to the last room here. This last room is pretty tricky, but it's also pretty satisfying to do. Because it's another room that's pretty tricky to do without getting a refreeze. Nice little slide cancel jump shot there. Really precise fast jump cancels are pretty tricky. Alright, Toadman. Oh no! We switched to Bright! That's okay. New strats. We're changing the game.
So at some point in a Mega Man game, you are going to menu to the wrong weapon. Like, you just are. It's almost unavoidable unless you're going really, really slow with your menus. In which case, you're probably losing more time than it's worth.
Yeah, unlike later games where you have quick swap, you have to pause in this game, and I believe it wastes like 1.5 seconds every time you go into the menu, like the transition in and out, right?
Right.
Like,
Something like that, yeah.
I think so. So like you're basically losing 3 seconds every time you have to pause the game and switch, not including the time it takes for you to navigate the menu itself. So you want to avoid it if you can.
If our host has anything to read at this time, this would probably be a good time to read it.
Wonderful. So, everyone in chat, are you and all your friends already subbed to ESA? Well, then cheering is another fantastic way to support the channel and keep this amazing content coming your way in the future. And you know what? If you cheer right now, then you really are mega. Unless you're Japanese, then you rock.
Cool. Coming into Cossack 1, Cossack stages start now. When you're going for like a pretty high level time where you reset every time you die, it's not, you kind of forget this, but here on out you don't get a boss checkpoint, which can be really stressful if you're trying to get through this game for the first time. Because you die against the boss, you just got there, you're trying to figure it out, and then you die and you go to the original checkpoint. So that's a little rough. But some cool action in here. There's ice physics going on. That's another thing. If you're sliding and jumping a lot, you don't feel it too much. But when it does catch you, you definitely feel it. A cool little despawn there. Got rid of our skeleton Joe by dipping back and going forward again. Doing some good old balloons in here. Woo!
That is a strat. That is not fun if you fall down. Bad things happen.
Yeah, that triple balloon ladder room is just scary every time. Coming in is Mothraia, first Cossack boss. He's weak to ring. A lot of the bosses in this game are weak to ring. Ring kills a lot of things.
That was a very kind pattern.
Yeah, very nice. It's good when he doesn't blow up the floor, because I believe that causes some lag with the explosion and everything.
That was a gold.
Oh, nice, sick. GG. Very nice. Marathon gold. Let's go. So, heading into Cossack 2, this stage is rowdy, and I believe Sage is going aggressive strats that you normally do not see people do. It's another like big risk, kind of small reward, but they are super cool, so we'll see. Lots of really cool balloon stuff. Very tightly routed as far as ammo and health goes. So he's gonna jump through the walls here. That jumping off the ladder, balloon jumping after the ladder jump. Very, very tight, very cool. Ooh, sliding off the balloon.
Yeah, that happens. So we're gonna have to do some nonsense here, basically.
All right, let's go. This run has character now, so it has. It's all good. So, yeah. So he can't go for that same strat again because, like I mentioned, so the ammo and health are you have to be pretty conservative, both.
I'll have to see where I am. I think I'm like close to back on track as far as ammo.
Okay, so he makes it through that room. That room's super scary. If you rush jet through there, just kind of cruise through. But that's slow, so we use the balloon and just kind of sail through there. Pretty scary because you're sliding on spikes. Once you get used to it, it's not as bad, but it is pretty spooky. Going for that health, it's going to be useful against Square Machine. Square Machine is just the worst, and he's easy to die to. You typically get to him with very little health. Going for that final triple balloon right before it's very scary, but beautifully done.
So that is in my route. If I don't mess up, I probably shouldn't have done it, but like, hey, why not?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. I mean, it's cool, super cool. Looks very, very cool. So Square Machine is super random. He uses a bunch of different patterns. Well, I guess 3. He basically can go by really, really fast, and then medium, and then form. We call that a 3. He can go by medium and then form. That's a 2. Or he can form right away, which is a 1. You want him to form right away. It's a 1 in 10 chance, I believe, that he will do that. So we got a 3-2 for this fight. Pretty average pattern. I think it's the most common, or is it 2-3? That's the most common.
Either 2-3 or 3-2 are the most common. if you combine those two, which I mean, why wouldn't you?
Right. And when you get a 3-3, it's just such a bummer because it's not even. It's just unlucky and bad. It just feels bad.
Yeah. And you cannot kill them in one cycle. You have to do at least 2. So you have each cycle is a 10% chance of getting the best pattern. So you have a 1% chance of getting a perfect pattern. You don't see that very often, especially this deep in a speedrun.
Right. Yeah. That's just a huge payout when you get it, but it's a bummer if your PB has it and all the other luck is, it's funny when you have luck shuffled around. But this is a Cossack 3, the auto scroller. It's the auto scroller. It's kind of a nice brief break after Cossack 2, but we're gonna go ahead and toss it over for some donations and let you mellow out and watch this nice chill stage.
Wonderful. We've teamed up with the runners of ESA Together to bring you some fabulous upcoming incentives. Maybe you want to name a character. How about seeing a blindfolded run? Check out our list of bid wars and incentives on the website when you donate. So, for example, we do have 3 incentives for Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. I was talking earlier about you having the option to name the Chocobo. You can also choose which garb will be worn and which mask will be worn. So we currently do not have any donations to any of those 2. We still have about 7 hours to go, so get your donations in on that one if you want to choose how to run the game, basically. And also we have for Cat Quest 2 later on. You can choose whether to save or to kill the dog messenger. So, do you want the dog messenger to live? Then donate for that. Or, well, does he deserve to live? Or will we just kill the messenger? I don't know. Currently, we are $5 in for kill the messenger and $0 for saving him. So maybe you want to get some money into that one.
Hope you guys are Michael Jackson fans, because this is the moonwalk.
Oh yeah, here we go. I'm slightly behind, but the moonwalk is super neat. So this fight's kind of neat. The Cockroach Twins. It's another fight like Ring and Cole, where it's the same thing every time I do. There's a cool little swag kill here, where he uses the orb to kill the top one and hit the bottom one with the same orb. Pretty satisfying to do. Gets a shot from the guy. He can big or 3 little ones. The 3 little ones cause some lag. So it's a solid fight, really good. Not a lot of ways to make that stage faster. There's some lag saving stuff you can do by getting sprites off screen quickly. That saves you some frames, but not a lot. Other than that, you just kind of got to cruise through it. Coming up now is Cossack 4. This is another nice break. It's kind of like Cossack 1 and 2 are pretty intense, and 3 and 4 are pretty mellow. 4, there's not too many super challenging things going on. There's one scary bit with the balloon, but we don't have any balloon right now, so I'm sure we're gonna do Rush Coil. Using the balloon is only marginally faster. Rush Coil, there's that little animation of Rush, like the little spring coming out of Rush when you pick him in the menu. So you have to wait for that. And the movement with the balloon is just quick. But yeah, other than that, this stage is pretty mellow. The boss 2 is not terrible. It can go wrong when it goes wrong fast if you don't get back on top of it.
Yeah, there's kind of a glitch to keep the boss of this stage under control. And what you're gonna do is he tries to move to your position, but if you're sliding, he gets very confused and he just kind of stays still because he can't figure out where you are. So we're gonna use the slides, just sliding in a corner to kind of manipulate him.
Yep. And it's really cool, actually. This was the first Mega Man game where Wily wasn't, the bad guy, which is crazy. Like it's very, very unique that they stepped away from that after Mega Man 3 and kind of got this guy in here. My theory is he used to be a toy maker, because so many of his robots and everything are like toy-based. So maybe he was a toy maker turned evil scientist Get that last hit on the left so we can get Mega Man over to the left because the auto over there. What's this? Proto Man? And Kalinka? Oh my goodness, that's his daughter? She was kidnapped? And it was Wily? Oh my goodness. Twist of the century. Just insane. Get the classic eyebrows here. And then we move into the Wily stages. I think I mentioned the Wily stages earlier, so like, I can't really pretend like.
Yeah.
But like, it's fun to pretend.
Wily 1 is one of my favorite stages in the game. It just there's a theme to it, by the way, and it's also a very technical, just movement-heavy stage.
Yeah, you'll notice very quickly what the theme is. Probably don't even have to explain it to you. And it all builds up into a appropriately themed boss. Well, yeah, like Sage said, lots of fun, tight, tricky movement in here.
I actually went too fast in that last screen. That guy wasn't open. Oh.
Coming through here. Some good old slides. These cute little Mets trying their best. I've had more than one person tell me that this stage reminds them of a bathroom, which I think is interesting.
What?
I know, I didn't really think about it until I had more than like 3 people tell me that. I was like, oh, okay. But it's a cute stage. I saw someone who didn't run the game use Toad in the water section. I was like, using rain underwater is just genius. So using Rush Jet to make quick work of the Yoku block rooms, they're frustrating. Coming in on the boss. Little known fact: the Yoku blocks are actually called blocks because you always falling off of them. Haha, doo-doo-ch. Sorry, just throwing a little goofs here in the Met stage. So here comes Met Daddy. That's his name, and he's Met Daddy. He can jump at you, and when he lands, you get frozen. Oof, frozen. It's good to deboost off the little Mets because they do less damage than Met Daddy himself, so you can take a hit and then slide to like a safe part of the room.
He bailed me out, so.
I'm sorry?
He bailed me out, so. Actually, getting 4 on the first cycle is just fine. Like, it takes, what, 14 hits to kill him? And even if he gives you the worst possible pattern, you can just barely kill him in 3 cycles.
Yeah, ideally you want to get him in the 3 cycles. Usually you can either get like 5 if you're cycle or 6 on a long cycle, and then also he can delay when he opens up. So there's a little bit of luck in Met Daddy that you have to kind of count on at the end there. This is the dog stage, Wily 2. Another stage with some pretty cool movement and tricks. We'll see what, I'm curious to see what Sage is going to go for in the last screen, because there's some interesting things you can do there. But it's fun. It's cool. Basically, you switch to Rush Jet here to get over this gap, and then you use it for a bunch of stuff after that you have to use him for later anyway, so it just saves time to keep him out. You can fire bullets from the Buster when Rush is on screen, so you'll see him just summon Rush at certain points to get rid of the enemies. Make him appear, and then save some time on jumps.
Thanks to Hypa for that neat little like.
Oh, you went for Hypa?
Yeah.
Here it comes. I'm watching it. Boom! Very nice too. Very tight. That's a very difficult track because Rush faces whatever direction you're facing. He forms, and so you have to jump up towards that platform, turn to the right to make him spawn to the right, so he doesn't immediately despawn, and then jump up there. So very well done.
Normally I would have slid on all those single block slides, but I just cleaned my controller out the other day, and I'm not. We're not doing that because you go way back if you die there.
Right, and the
like
sun's in your eyes, and you forgot your game. But no, yeah, those block slides are really scary. Going for just the straight ring fight. There's another strat you can do that's kind of interesting. Really casually. If you hit him, you have to hit him in his little green orb. You have to damage him with it. If you damage him with the drill, it disables his hitbox, and you can walk inside of him and attack him from behind.
Yeah, it's a really neat glitch. It's one of the more head-scratching ones. Like, how did this not get noticed? But
yeah, it does waste time though. stuff. If he gets quick swap, it would be
Yeah.
super easy.
Um, I forget if Toad said this, but the use of Rain Flush at the start of that boss fight actually skips his health refill, which I think was a Cool Kid finding,
Oh, interesting.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I didn't. Brain. Yeah, I did not mention that. That's a good call. I'm taking some refills here. We actually probably have time for one quick donation before we hit the refights.
Sure thing. Did any one of you ever look at the awesome ESA event shirts and thought to yourself, dang, that's a really good design. I wish I could have one of my own. Well, now you can. Head on over to speedrunstore.com to browse through our various merchandise available.
Okay, so now we're hitting Pharaoh Man here. We're going in with Dust. Dust does solid damage, and we're going to use it right away after this on Skull. So we're the name of the game, I think, for optimizing the refights is saving time on menus, not having to, switch weapons if you can, and using weapons unconventionally to save time in interesting ways.
He was not very cooperative.
Yeah, he was a little fussy. The bosses can be a little disrespectful. This is kind of a little baby casino here. So Skullman giving us a pretty rough shield, really. I don't think it was the worst, but it was a little over medium, I think, for how it could be. Going into dive, fighting him with Skull. We're going to be left over with a little Skull ammo after this fight, and we're going to use it against Bright in an interesting way. It does pretty good damage against Bright, and if you hit him with an odd number of Skull shots, it sets up those HP values so he won't freeze you. So typically you do 5 shots. There's a way you can do 7. It's people don't do it too often. Fasta does it in his PB, but typically you go for 5, and then you switch to Toad, and killing him with Toad after Skull leaves you with 1 Toad ammo, which is what you're going to need for Drill in the next fight. If you fire the Toad right at the beginning of the fight, it does 1 damage, which saves you 1 dive missile shot. So it's a good way to do some damage right at the beginning when you can't control what he's going to do anyway.
He's not playing nice today.
Oh yeah, right away, another dive right away. He did that last time too. Some grumpy bosses here. Really, Drill Man should be called Dive Man, and Dive Man should be called Drill Man.
Oh, yeah. I used to have that as the name of my splits for those stages until one day I forgot. One day I forgot what stage I was going into and looked at my splits to figure it out. And I went into the wrong stage because of it. So then no more. None of that.
Yeah. That's funny. Toad is as easy as he ever is. Pharaoh, there's, Ring you use like you do before. It's another fixed fight. There's some different stuff you can do to fight him. Oop, missed the little thing. I'm not sure if were you gonna go for CFO?
I was not. There's a slightly different version of that I go for.
Okay.
Where you still kill him on the teleporter on the left. Unfortunately, I missed the overhead shot.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen.
So Dust is a little scary for the refights because he's at the end.
That was actually really good. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was solid. Just cruising on through there. He can normally be scary, but Dust. So interesting fight here too. Another cool trick you can do pretty easily is you get him down to 1 health with the ring. The lovely E sound to go along with it. You get down to the 1 HP, and then you hit him with a drill. And then you hit him with the drill, and it skips the life fill, and then the next drill does double damage. I think what's happening is that the explosion from the drill lingers on screen and damages the second form preemptively, causing the life to go a little weird and fill up, but then it retains the damage from the first drill when you hit him with the second one.
Yeah, the game updates to the correct HP value, or at least that's my understanding of it.
Okay.
I'm not too good at assembly, so...
Yeah, I need I want the real numbers and stuff and figure it out. I just know that it helps.
This is the final stage coming up, so I will just say time. It is I might be a little careful because you can actually double KO and lose in the final Wily fight here. It's very possible, so I will be a little generous with my time.
Yeah, this is definitely a run where it ain't over till it's over. because a lot of goofy stuff can happen with Capsule. You get there with pretty low ammo, and if you're going for a really aggressive time, you want to do these double shots on him, and so it's tricky for sure. So let's see what goes down here.
No doubles yet.
And he, as you can see, he's a boss who can appear in a bunch of different random places. He's in the dark. He only appears very briefly, so that window to get a double shot is small. Thankfully, we have a lot of ammo due to picking up a... Woo! What was our time?
39:23. So,
hey, GG, nice.
Yeah, 39's all right. I was hoping for a 38, but we did take a death, so you know it made it a little bit harder. My PB is a 37:51. So,
yeah, very nice.
Yep, and the world record is held by Chelney at a 37:17 right now. So we're a little ways off, but not too far.
Yes, very solid run. I think sub 40 in a marathon is always a feeling for me. Anyway, it's like you feel good. Like for me, I feel satisfied anyway.
Yeah,
sub 40.
Yeah, that's true. So the one thing I want to say is, if you're interested in Mega Man speedrunning at all, a classic Mega Man speedrunning, there is a website called megamanleaderboards.net, and we also have a Discord. You won't find us on other ranking websites. It's megamanleaderboards.net, and there's also a Discord for Classic and for X. So if you're interested in running any Mega Man games, go to the leaderboard website, look at the Discords, feel free to ask us questions, tell me how terrible I was and how my run was awful.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, community is super inviting. And Mega Man 4 in particular is pretty spicy right now. A lot of people picking it up across the spectrum of skill. So there's a lot of people racing, talking about a lot of fun stuff to do. I know I definitely would be willing to answer any questions, and I'm sure Sage would too. So if you have any inclination to play Mega Man 4, now's the time. Light that spark. Then thank you for having me too. I'm looking to. I also run the game.
Thanks to ESA for having me. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. Thanks to everyone for supporting ESA. These guys are really awesome. So I was really excited to be a part of this.
Yes, thank you very